8 miles outside of downtown Louisville, Kentucky, lies an abandoned hospital that opened its doors on July 28, 1910, to house tuberculosis patients. This place is known as Waverly Hills Sanatorium. The hospital was intended to treat patients suffering from tuberculosis. This disease would eat away at your lungs and was extremely contagious. In the early stages of being diagnosed with this deadly disease, doctors would surgically remove several ribs in order to remove the infected parts of the lung, and sometimes the entire lung. Common treatments of tuberculosis were fresh air, rest, good food, and medical supervision. From the time the doors opened in 1910 to the time the doors closed in 1961, this deadly disease claimed the lives of over 11,000 people, including children who were treated at Waverly Hills. To help keep patient morale up due to the alarming rate of people passing away from tuberculosis, a nurse would move a patient from the breezeway to the opposite side of the building right before they're to pass away. After the patient passed away, the staff would move the body down to the basement and into cold lockers to await their final transportation by train. Once the train had arrived, the deceased would be moved through a tunnel 500 feet down to the edge of the property and loaded into the train to be carried away. This tunnel came to be known as the body chute. To start this portion of our investigation, Amy and I made the 500-foot descent to the bottom of the body chute.
Anybody here with us?
After 10 minutes of using the spirit box, we did not receive any communication and decided to make our way back towards the top and on to the next location.
Walking down this hallway.
During the height of tuberculosis, Waverly Hills had an electroshock therapy room and used this practice on patients with tuberculosis of the brain. According to the American Journal of Psychiatry, psychotic patients with associated active pulmonary tuberculosis who are treated with electroshock in an effort to ameliorate the psychotic symptoms so that proper therapy could be directed to the tuberculosis lesion. All cases showed improvement in their tuberculosis, which can be indirectly attributed to the shock therapy. As we investigated the electroshock therapy room, we had no idea what was about to happen.
Weird.
You alright?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, the pain right here. You trying to tell me something? Trying to tell me that it hurt? It's really weird. It's right here. Right in my sternum. Are you causing me some pain right now? Do you want me to hurt like you hurt?
After Amy asked a question, a voice comes through the spirit box, and at the same time the infrared light on my camera turns off by itself. Could this be the same entity that is causing Amy pain and be the one messing with my camera?
Let's go down here.
Or could the explanation be as simple as the equipment malfunctioning on its own?
That might hurt you.
One will never know.
I mean, not right now. That hurt like a son of a...
You're sweating. I mean, you are drenched. Your face is drenched.
That hurt.
I mean,
It's quit now. As soon as I walked out of the room, it quit.
your face is completely...
As Amy and I move our investigation up to the 4th floor, we cannot help but feel differently the moment we step into the hallway.
See, it just feels different in here. It does.
Amy and I make our way to the next paranormal hotbed to investigate. We cannot help but remember being told a legend of a black shadow figure that's been seen multiple times on the 4th floor, known as the Creeper. This dark entity will crawl along the floor like a spider, and once spotted, it will crawl onto the wall and up to the ceiling before disappearing. I turned the infrared light off on my camera so you can see exactly what Amy and I are seeing, which is complete darkness. As we continue to make our way to the next location, I'm just waiting for the Creeper to make an appearance at any given moment.
Sometimes I like to try hard to just make sure there's nothing. Whoa, what the?
It's a bat.
Stupid bats.
Please remember that we cannot see anything other than the brightness from the LCD screen being on. So when something comes flying out of nowhere and makes an appearance on the LCD screen, it's unnerving. Amy, I need new underwear. Amy and I make our way down to the 3rd floor to investigate a known legend. The legend is that a homeless man and his dog took shelter inside Waverly Hills in the 1990s when the building sat vacant. The tragedy to this legend was this man and his dog were murdered by members of an occult that were practicing satanic rituals. Now, as we enter the room the man and dog slept in, Amy sets the spirit box up and attempts to communicate with him. Listen closely to what comes through the spirit box.
Mr. Bill. I think it's terrible what happened to you. We came here to pay our respects to you. Very much a dog lover, and I think that what they did to you is very horrible.
I think I just say thank you.
Horrible.
I think I just say thank you.
Listen closely as to what comes through the spirit box when Amy starts to ask about the owner's dog.
I heard her name was Sadie.
The sound that keeps coming through the spirit box gets louder each and every time.
Did you hear like grunt? Just 2 seconds. That.
Yeah. Who is that?
Before moving on to the next and final location of the night, let's listen to these 3 sounds again that came through the spirit box.
That.
After listening to the sounds again, do you think this was the owner's dog letting us know that it's still around by barking? If not the dog, could this have been something growling? Or something entirely different? I'll let you decide.
It's all okay.
After we finish investigating the 3rd floor, we make our way back up to the 4th floor to investigate the surgery room. While conducting our last spirit box session of the evening, take a listen to what will become the best evidence that we gathered at Waverly Hills. When Amy says hello, a full sentence comes through the spirit
Hello.
box. Following the voice that came through the spirit box, which was "nice to meet you," 2 different voices will come through the spirit box that will leave me and Amy baffled for the next several days.
So a doctor or a nurse in here with us that could help?
Let's listen to this again. As we reviewed the footage, we wondered the significance of the numbers 8 and 18 and what they might mean. It occurred to me that these could be medical codes. My research led me to discovering International Classification of Diseases, or for short, ICD. Medical codes change periodically, but I found ICD Revision 6 from 1948. When I looked up Medical Code 8, it reads tuberculosis unspecified site, and 18 reads tuberculosis of other organs. Did we hear the doctor tell the nurse which codes to write in the patient's medical chart to indicate what was wrong? Then the nurse replied to the doctor with, "Got it?" Let's listen one last time. Quite frankly, it gives us both goosebumps.